Welcome to Lemon Stream, where we feature stories of the unknown, mysteries, post-apocalyptic fiction, and other weird stuff. So settle in, get comfortable, get ready. Here we go. The New World, Chapter 12. Life Goes On. 2 weeks went by slowly. There was little talking, and the mood was dark. Finally, the day came when they were able to go upstairs and, later, start spending some limited time outside. As soon as they could get outside, the men moved Gramps' body to the garage, and Michael and Sandy began digging a grave. The cold weather had worked in their favor, but the decomposing body was beginning to stink. With the limited time, they were able to be outside at first. It took about 3 days to dig the hole. On the 4th day, Michael and Stevie went to the grave to plant a headboard into which Michael had carved Gramps' name and dates. "We'll do a real funeral," Michael said, "next week when we can stay out here longer." It's so different without him," Stevie said. "Yeah," nodded Michael. "It seems like everything is different. It just seems like I'm going through the motions every day, and Ma hardly says anything anymore." "What's that?" Stevie said, pointing down the road. Michael looked. There was movement on the road, through the trees to the south of the driveway. "I see it. Is it a deer?" "No," Stevie exclaimed. It's a person. 2 people. 3. Look through the trees behind them." "Hey, hey!" Shayla was shouting in the front yard. "It's people! It's people!" "What a tard," Michael mumbled. He picked up his shotgun from a nearby tree and headed down the driveway. As he got closer to the road, he could now clearly see 3 men walking down the road. They were unshaven and their clothes were torn and dirty. "Hello there," said Michael, stopping at the end of the driveway. Stevie stepped up next to him and Shayla ran up to join them. "We're rescued!" Shayla shouted. "Yay, we're finally rescued! Real people!" "Hey, bud," one of the men said. "We sure didn't expect to find people alive up here." "Yeah," said Michael, "we're alive. I don't know why, but we're alive." "I think I've seen you around," the man said, "before all this." "My name is Matt. This is my brother Lucas, and there's my brother Johnny. We live a couple miles down the road at Ma and Pa's place. Well, I guess it's our place now. They didn't make it through the first week." The 3 men had stopped about 6 feet away. "How many are you?" Matt asked, smiling. "Only a few of us," Michael said. 14 of us if you count the kids," said Shayla. "Well, there," said the friendly man. "That's quite a crowd. We sure didn't expect to find that many around here." Michael looked at Shayla sideways, then turned back to the men. "It's been rough," Michael said. "Not everyone made it. Just buried one today." "Oh, I am sorry," Matt said. "Seems most people didn't make it. We've run into a few going south. They say there are more down by town, but still, most people didn't make it. And that last one a couple weeks ago caught us all by surprise." Matt shook his head. "I didn't expect anyone up to the north side here. Say, there's word that every Saturday a bunch gets together down by Sandy Bend to trade things. Right there by the town office. Figured I'd let you know in case you have things to trade." "Well," said Michael, "we don't really have a lot to trade right now, but that's good to know. I might go down there and check it out." "We've got a ton of food," Shayla said. Lucas and Johnny looked at each other. "Well, Matt said, if you want to trade some of that, we'd be the first in line to get some. There's not much around here right now. Hey," Matt reached into his pocket and pulled out a wad of $20 bills. "We'd be glad to pay top dollar for a little of that food." "I'll talk to the others," said Michael, "but we really don't have much to spare right now." "Don't be an ass, Michael," Shayla said. "We've got a bunch of food, and he's offering us hundreds of dollars for just a little bit." "Shayla," Michael said, trying to be patient for the benefit of the visitors, "we might not even have enough food for the winter, and you can't eat dollar bills." "I understand," Matt said, stuffing the money back into his pocket. I sure understand, and I don't blame you, friend. I wouldn't sell food for money either, but fellas gotta try. Tell you what, you talk to your friends, and if you change your mind, just pop over and see us. We're about 2 miles down the road here, big gray house on the right. If you want to part with some of that food, I'm sure we could come to an agreement of some sorts. We got a fair amount of stuff to trade. I'm sure we have something you might want. I'll do that, Michael said. I'll talk to the others and see what they want. It's been really nice chatting, Matt said. So glad to meet you. Best of luck, and don't forget, if you want to do a little trade, pop over and see us anytime, day or night. We even have a 6-pack of beer we're saving for the right time, so we can have a drink to seal the deal. Just come on down. Matt reached out his hand toward Michael. Michael stepped forward and shook his hand. Then Matt shook with Stevie and Shayla. Good meeting you, said Michael. Best of luck to you, too. The 3 men turned and walked back in the direction they came from. Michael stood and watched until they were out of sight. You're an idiot, said Shayla. All that money for just a little food, and you said no? Michael ignored her and turned back to the house. Sandy and Darren were waiting inside at the windows, guns in hand. What was all that about? Darren asked. They're from down the road, Michael answered. They're looking for food and things to trade. It didn't feel right, so I was polite to them and nice and all, but didn't feel right making a deal. At least they don't know what we have, Darren nodded, looking back out the window again. Well, Michael said, about that. There was a blabbermouth there who told them that we have tons of food. Sandy and Darren looked alarmed. Well, said Shayla, we do have tons of food, and they have stuff we can trade it for. Why do you guys always have to be so suspicious and so judgmental and so paranoid all the time? We finally met some people, real people, and they had money, and they just wanted to be friends, and this jackass, she pointed to Michael, was all just, yeah, go away. I just can't believe how stupid you are. Shayla, said Sandy, you've just put every life in this house at risk. You people, she said, and she stomped off down the cellar steps. There was one interesting thing they told us, Michael said. Matt, the brother that did all the talking, he said that there are more people south toward town. He said most people didn't make it, but there are still quite a few down by town. He said they come together at the town office on Saturdays to trade. Maybe we should show up there sometime and see just what's going on. Maybe get some news? Maybe someone down there has food to trade? Darren nodded. When we can start spending all day outside, we should do that, just to get some intelligence and see what's going on out there.